This is my review of Dr. Stone, Chapter 95, First Contact. God dang, that title was certainly apt, I think. But we'll get to that later. Let's start in the beginning. This is the 2-year anniversary of the manga, and that is just amazing to me. It feels so long and so short since it started. Seriously, just the way the series started was absolutely amazing to me. They spent the first several chapters on a different character and then switched to Senku as the main character. I'm still not over just how absolutely mind-blowing that was as a twist to the series. Maybe other series have done it, but I've never seen it. Well, even Gurren Lagann, his big brother took up a lot of spotlight, but it was always on Simone as the main character, I felt, even before he died. So, also, there is a popularity poll, and if you enter, there is a chance that you will appear in the anime as a petrified, non-moving statue, which is definitely interesting. We then move on to the colored opening page, which is just absolutely beautiful. It makes Senku look like some kind of mix between a general, a messiah, and a world traveler. From there, we move on to adorable little Suka and the pig. And I just have to ask, can Suka talk to animals? Is that an established thing? It's not just like he's understanding where the animal is coming from. He's like having a full-blown conversation with this pig. A pig he named Sagara after the oil fields they're looking for, which I thought was a nice touch. And he pays off. The pig actually leads them to oil. Thankfully, then this little pig is given a stay of execution and will not be turned into food. I mean, I was certainly happy to see that, and Suka loves having new little pets, and Senku was just so amazing and just giving him a part in, but they're still going to eat the other pigs. Probably in front of this pig, they're going to eat his brothers, sisters, parents, whatever. That's still very terrifying to me. I know a lot of you aren't going to care that much, but I just really love animals, and even if I woke up in the Stone Age, I don't think I could kill to eat. But that's just me. Moving on, now we actually have the oil mills. Sorry about that, the wind outside is crazy today. Anyway, saying, now we actually have the oil fields. They're pumping up oil and barreling it, which I know that this is super advanced, but I still would have liked it if they actually showed them being built, how they worked, all that. This is something I'd find interesting. I mean, so much of what I love about this series is them taking the time to carefully explain everything, how it works, what's the science behind it, what are applications, how it was discovered, and they just kind of rolled past it this whole chapter. Same thing with the boat, which I feel like you're taking it a step too far with this boat, with the shark eyes and the mouth and the freaking sunglasses. The windshield is a pair of sunglasses. And once again, this is just something, oh yeah, we built using the same parts we used to build the fridge and the car. And again, I would just like to see them working on this, building it. Anyway. Then again, very interesting callback to the first chapter, where he thinks Senku is making love potion because Senku tried to get him to drink gasoline in the first chapter, which honestly kind of made me hate Senku in the beginning. I thought he was this selfish, arrogant, egotistical ass who had no problem trying to poison his friends for a laugh or something. It was certainly an interesting touch for the first chapter, but this callback is pretty amusing. The series began with Senku making gasoline, and now here he is, decades, centuries, millennia later, making it again. Honestly, it almost feels like it could be the end of the series with him making gasoline and reaching out to go to the new shores to find the truth. I mean, if it ended there, I'd be a little disappointed. We never actually learned how they were all frozen, but I'd understand it. It'd be a good, way to connect the beginning to the end, and I'd be happy with that. But nope, they're still moving forward. They take their amazingly advanced, superpowered boat, built by cavemen. That might be offensive to some cavemen out there, but this boat feels like it's too advanced for the technology they have on hand. That's all I'm saying. Alright, moving on, so they go out into open water and they realize, oh, how are we going to get back? Of course, Senku has one of his Senku moments. Oh, I'm just going to invent GPS right here and now. All the old-timers are, their mouths are literally gaping at this thought. Like, you're going to invent GPS. I mean, I know he invented cell phones, but let's be honest, that was more of a radio than an actual cell phone. I know the technology's similar, but I'm still just going to call it radio because I think that's a better definition for it. So instead of using a satellite for this GPS, they're instead just boosting up the signal for their radio tower, which I'm a little worried about. I know radio waves are mostly harmless, but I gotta imagine that at a certain point they're going to put too much power into it, and people are just going to start dropping like flies around them. Again, my understanding of radio waves is pretty inadequate, but I still think that's a danger they might have to worry about down the road. And here's where we get a really, really weird scene with Ginru. I mean, what is this look he's giving her? I mean, I actually wasn't even sure if this was his character the first time I read it, because it just felt so out of place for him to just basically be saying, Ruri, now is the time. You must confess your love so that it will sing through the ages. Yeah, that was weird. That was very weird. Honestly, I don't know why, but it would have almost been less weird if his older brother had said it. I'm not sure why. He's more of a straight man, but that just seems like something I could hear him saying better. I can't really explain it more than that. So she begins to confess her love to him, and as our resident mentalist says, what a cliche. The static cuts it out, but it is not static. It is Morse code. Morse code coming from a source. Somewhere in this world, there was someone who's able to detect their radio signal and then start blasting at the same frequency to deliver them a message, to let them know something. And that message, W, H, Y, 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 Y! Sorry. What does this mean? I have no freaking clue whatsoever. But the rest of them are literally stunned and terrified, but Senku is just smiling because this excites him. It's a new mystery for him to solve, a new avenue to explore, and he is just teeming at the chance to figure out who is projecting this. Now let's talk about who the freak is projecting this and what it means. Let's start with who's projecting this. There's a few different thoughts. It's possible a civilization was somehow shielded from the effects of petrification. They were in a lead vault or something, and they managed to get out and keep enough of their knowledge that they have a fairly advanced civilization somewhere. I doubt they're overly advanced, or else we'd seen their planes, their boats, their colonies, something we'd have seen by now. So there might be a reason why they have to stay small or they can't advance too far. Maybe they're afraid that the light is going to come back, so they all have to hide within a lead vault system. It's also possible that maybe the situation was right where a group of people were unpetrified somewhere else, and like Senku, they have enough knowledge of the world to be able to build a antenna and start projecting. It's also possible there's just one person who's just been alone this whole time. Though it should be noted, they sent out Morse code. They didn't send out a radio message. They didn't say, hey, I'm over here, come find me. They sent out Morse code, meaning maybe their technology is more limited than I first thought. But it could be that they, either people who were revived or who've managed to survive this long, still have access to old technology they don't fully understand, and they're using that to send out the signal. Then again, though, Morse code, that's definitely a modern-day invention to a certain extent. Without any civilization that has been around since this all happened, would have retained the memory of Morse code. That feels like something that would definitely be lost over time. Of course, it's entirely possible it was lost, and there's their own Morse code, and WHY, it's not saying WHY, it's saying SOS or something that's more useful. But then again, this Y could also be an abbreviation to something that only sailors might know. Our resident sailor certainly has an interesting appearance. Everyone else besides Senku is absolutely terrified, but I almost see recognition in his eyes, like he knows this code, it means something to him. I mean, at first that was like White House Yard or West Hollywood something. Like this could be like WHY could refer to an actual location or some coordinates they have to go to. It could be a secret code, like it could also be like a secret password. Like the person asks you the question and you have to respond with the proper term or they'll stop communicating. I've seen this in lots of spy shows and movies and whatnot. But yeah, this is certainly going to be interesting. They said they couldn't find the exact location for it. I'm not sure how much fuel they have, if they're going to try and go out to find the source of the signal next chapter or down the road, or if this is going to be the next big mystery they solve. All the while, their old friend is still frozen, still waiting for someone to come fix up his broken organs. So, who's this person? What do they know about the day of the Flash? How do they have Morse code and advanced radio technology? Here's hoping we get some of those answers next week, and I am super excited. So, until then, peace.